Now I want to talk more about rhythmic patterns. Here are some rhythmic patterns that are kind of broken down to how they're derived in simple time, and we'll talk about ones in compound time a little later as well. The more you start to recognize rhythmic patterns, it will help you determine what time signature you're in, or if you're in simple or compound time, and how to beam notes together and how to group them, because they're very common and you see this in music all the time. So here, the first one we have is a dotted eighth note and a 16th note. And how we're broken is we broke down to the lowest value, which is 4/16. So all of these equal a quarter note. So a way to express how this rhythm of sound is, if I have 4/16 notes, then the first two is tied together and the second and third is tied as well. So only the first and the last is sounded. So this is a dotted 8/16 note, which equals a quarter note. Another example is an eighth note and 2/16 notes. So once again, we have the value of a quarter note. And the way, if you break it down into 16th notes, or the lowest note value, is I have the first two 16th note tied, which is going to give me the same duration as an eighth note, and then the last two 16th notes by itself. So, and then the last example here, I have two 16th note and an eighth note. So here I have the first two 16th note by itself, and then the last two 16th note is tied. So two 16th note tied gives me the duration of an eighth note. So these are common examples that you would find in simple time, because once again, every one of these values equal a quarter note. So here are some examples in compound time. So all of these examples will equal the value of a dotted quarter note. So the first one here, we have eighth note, two 16th note, then an eighth note again. So two eighth note gives me a quarter note, and 2/16 give me an eighth note, so that gives me a dotted quarter note value. How it is expressed is if we broke it down to the lowest value we see in the rhythm, which is 16th notes. Here I have 6/16 notes. So the first two are tied, which is going to give me the value of an eighth note. The two 16th note in the middle, and the last two 16th notes are tied again. So I have 8, 2/16, and 8. Next example right here is two 16th note and then followed by two eighth notes. Once again, it equals a dotted quarter. Two eighth note equals a quarter note, and the 2/16 equal an eighth note. Then if we broke it down to the lowest value in the group here, which is 16th note, then I have the first two 16th note by itself, then the second two is tied to give me the duration of an eighth note, and the last two is tied to give me a duration of an eighth note as well. And then the third example here, I have eighth note, a dotted eighth note, and a 16th. So here is an eighth note plus an eighth gives me a quarter, and this dot is going to represent a 16th note plus another 16th note, which is going to give me eighth note. So I have a dotted quarter once again. So if we break it down to the lowest value in the group, which is 16th note, then I have the first two tied to give me the value of an eighth. The next two is tied, and then we tied one more to give it a dotted eighth value, and the last 16th note matches by itself right there. So this is how we have some common rhythmic patterns in compound time. So you'll see these ones written very commonly, so that would help you identify whether you're in simple or compound time. So if you see these, then you know that you're in compound time.